There is a specific kind of exhaustion that comes from a chest that feels heavy, a throat that feels tight, and the constant rhythmic clearing of a voice that never quite finds its resonance. For many, this isn't just a seasonal annoyance, it is a daily battle against a thick, stubborn barrier that separates them from a full, deep breath. We often treat the symptoms with over-the-counter sprays and chalky tablets, yet the underlying congestion remains, clinging to the bronchial walls like an unwanted guest. Today, we are moving beyond the quick fix and looking into a potent ancestral solution that targets the very chemistry of mucus. This isn't just about a warm drink, it is about a specific combination of bioactive compounds designed to break the molecular bonds of phlegm, soothe the inflamed lining of your airways, and restore the natural flow of oxygen to your system. By the end of this exploration, you will understand exactly how to prepare a single, powerful cup that acts as a natural expectorant, clearing the fog from your lungs and the irritation from your throat using nothing but the raw power of nature's most effective anti-inflammatories. To defeat the enemy, we must first understand its purpose. Mucus is not inherently a villain. In fact, it is your body's first line of defense. Produced by the goblet cells in your respiratory lining, it serves as a sticky trap for dust, bacteria, and viruses, preventing them from reaching the delicate tissues of your lungs. Under normal circumstances, microscopic hairs called cilia move this mucus upward like a slow-moving escalator, where it is harmlessly processed. However, when inflammation strikes, whether from allergies, infection, or environmental pollutants, your body goes into overdrive. The mucus becomes thicker, more tenacious, and loses its water content, transforming from a protective lubricant into a stagnant gel. This stagnation is where the danger lies. It becomes a breeding ground for further irritation and makes every breath feel like a chore. The goal of our protocol is not to stop mucus production entirely, but to restore its viscosity. We want to thin it out, making it slippery enough for the cilia to do their job again. By introducing specific enzymes and hydrating compounds, we can chemically signal the body to release the grip this congestion has on your airways, allowing for a mechanical clearance that feels almost instantaneous. The first and perhaps most critical component of our clearing cup is fresh ginger root. Ginger is far more than a kitchen spice. It contains a potent bioactive compound known as gingerol. Scientific studies have shown that gingerol possesses powerful thermogenic properties, meaning it slightly raises the internal temperature of the tissues it contacts. When you consume ginger in a concentrated liquid form, it acts as a natural bronchodilator. It helps the smooth muscles of the airways to relax, providing immediate relief from that tight feeling in the chest. Furthermore, ginger is an effective mucolytic. It contains enzymes that physically break down the protein chains within thick phlegm, reducing its stickiness. As you sip, the gingerol works to suppress the pro-inflammatory cytokines that cause the throat to swell and produce excess discharge. This double-action approach, relaxing the airways while thinning the blockage, is why ginger has been the cornerstone of respiratory medicine for millennia. For our recipe, we aren't using processed powder. We require the raw, pungent juice of the root to ensure the volatile oils remain intact and ready to penetrate the mucous membranes effectively. Next, we introduce turmeric, the golden healer. Turmeric contains curcumin, a substance world-renowned for its ability to modulate the immune response. In the context of the lungs and throat, curcumin acts as a specialized janitor. Chronic mucus production is often the result of low-grade, persistent inflammation in the bronchial tubes. Curcumin enters the bloodstream and signals the body to stand down, reducing the swelling that traps mucus in the lower lobes of the lungs. However, turmeric has a secret. It is notoriously difficult for the body to absorb on its own. To unlock its full potential, our cup must include a tiny pinch of black pepper. The piperine in black pepper increases the bioavailability of curcumin by a staggering 2,000%. This synergy ensures that the healing properties don't just pass through your digestive system, but actually reach the respiratory tissues where they are needed most. Together, this pair works to dry up the excess dampness in the lungs, providing a long-term solution rather than a fleeting mask for your symptoms. It is the difference between mopping up a spill and actually fixing the leaking pipe that caused it. No mucus-clearing remedy is complete without the sharp, cleansing power of fresh lemon juice. While many people think of lemon purely for its vitamin C content, its most important role in this specific formula is its acidity and its high concentration of potassium. Citric acid acts as a natural solvent. It quite literally cuts through the slime in the back of the throat. When the acid contacts the thick proteins of phlegm, it alters their pH balance, causing them to lose their structural integrity. This is why you often feel an immediate clearing sensation after drinking something citrusy. Beyond the immediate physical breakdown, the vitamin C provides a necessary boost to the macrophages in your lungs, the white blood cells responsible for eating and removing debris and pathogens. By strengthening these cellular cleaners, you are giving your body the tools it needs to finish the job that the ginger and turmeric started. The lemon also provides a refreshing astringency that tones the mucous membranes, preventing them from leaking more fluid than necessary, effectively tightening the defense system of your upper respiratory tract. Now, we must address the irritation that often accompanies congestion. Constant coughing and the presence of acidic mucus can leave the throat raw and vulnerable. This is where raw, unpasteurized honey enters the equation. Honey is a natural demulcent, meaning it forms a protective, soothing film over the mucous membranes. This film provides instant relief from the scratchy feeling that triggers a dry, unproductive cough. But the benefits go deeper. Raw honey contains small amounts of hydrogen peroxide and various phenolic acids that act as mild, natural antibiotics. It helps to neutralize any bacteria that may be trying to take advantage of the stagnant mucus in your system. It's important to note that we only add the honey once the drink has cooled slightly to a drinkable temperature. High heat can destroy the delicate enzymes and antimicrobial properties that make raw honey so effective. By including it, we aren't just sweetening the brew, we are creating a timed release coating that keeps the other active ingredients in contact with your throat for a longer duration, maximizing their healing impact. For those dealing with particularly stubborn, deep-seated congestion in the sinuses or the lungs, there is one optional but highly recommended addition: a tiny pinch of cayenne pepper. Cayenne contains capsaicin, the compound responsible for its heat. Capsaicin is a potent stimulant for the secretions of the respiratory tract. Have you ever noticed your nose starts to run immediately after eating spicy food? This is a deliberate physiological response. The capsaicin triggers the release of watery fluids, which mix with the thick, stuck mucus, thinning it out rapidly so it can be expelled. It also stimulates blood flow to the lungs, increasing the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the site of the infection or inflammation. It acts like a jumpstart for your system's natural drainage pipes. While it may provide a momentary kick to the senses, the resulting clarity in the sinuses and the ease of breathing are well worth the brief warmth. It is the final push that ensures nothing remains trapped in the delicate air sacs of your lungs. Precision in preparation is what separates a culinary tea from a therapeutic elixir. To begin, take a 2-inch piece of fresh ginger root. Peel it and either grate it finely or slice it into very thin rounds to maximize the surface area. Place the ginger in a pot with 2 cups of filtered water and bring it to a gentle simmer. Do not boil it aggressively, as we want to extract the oils without evaporating them. Let it simmer for at least 10 minutes until the water turns a deep pale yellow. Once finished, remove it from the heat and stir in half a teaspoon of turmeric powder and a small crack of black pepper. Allow the mixture to steep and cool for about 5 minutes. This cooling period is crucial. Once the liquid is warm but no longer scalding, squeeze in the juice of half a fresh lemon and stir in 1 tablespoon of raw honey. If you're feeling brave, add that pinch of cayenne now. By following this order, you ensure that the heat-sensitive vitamin C and honey enzymes remain potent, while the hearty ginger and turmeric have been fully extracted into the water. How you drink this is just as important as how you make it. This isn't a beverage to be gulped down while multitasking. To get the maximum benefit for your throat and lungs, you should sip it slowly while it is still comfortably warm. As you take a sip, allow the liquid to coat the back of your throat before swallowing. Inhale the steam rising from the cup. The volatile oils of the ginger and the lemon will enter your nasal passages, providing immediate topical relief to your sinuses. The best time to consume this elixir is first thing in the morning, on an empty stomach. During the night, mucus tends to pool and thicken in the respiratory tract, which is why many people experience morning congestion. By introducing these clearing agents immediately upon waking, you flush the system and set a clean slate for the day. For those with chronic issues, a second cup in the evening, about an hour before bed, can help prevent the nighttime buildup that often leads to interrupted sleep and coughing fits.
While this drink is a powerful tool, it works best when supported by a few key lifestyle adjustments. Congestion is often exacerbated by dehydration. If your body doesn't have enough water, it cannot produce the thin, slippery mucus it needs to stay healthy. Ensure you are drinking plenty of plain, room temperature water throughout the day. Additionally, consider your environment. Dry indoor air, especially during winter or in air-conditioned spaces, strips moisture from your airways, making phlegm even harder to clear. Using a humidifier or even simply taking a few deep breaths over a bowl of hot water can provide the external moisture your cilia need to function. Lastly, pay attention to your diet. For some, dairy and highly processed sugars can trigger an increase in mucus production through an inflammatory response. By combining our golden elixir with clean hydration and mindful eating, you create an environment where congestion simply cannot take root. You are not just treating a cough, you are optimizing your entire respiratory biome. Once the elixir has begun to work its magic and the mucus has thinned, you may find that you need to physically clear your throat or chest. Instead of a harsh, jarring cough, which can actually irritate the vocal cords and cause more swelling, try a technique called huff coughing. Take a deep breath in, hold it for 2 seconds, and then exhale forcefully through an open mouth, as if you were trying to fog up a mirror. This controlled burst of air moves the thinned mucus higher up the bronchial tree without the trauma of a standard cough. You will likely find that after a few sips of your ginger turmeric brew, this technique becomes much more effective. The goal is a gentle, productive clearance. You are working with your body's natural mechanics, assisted by the chemistry of the plants you've consumed. This synergy between internal remedy and physical technique is the secret to lasting respiratory clarity and a voice that feels light and effortless. The ability to breathe deeply and clearly is something we often take for granted until it is compromised, but you don't have to live with the weight of chronic congestion. By turning to the concentrated wisdom of ginger, turmeric, lemon, and honey, you are choosing a path of healing that respects your body's complex biology. This golden cup is more than just a remedy. It is a ritual of self-care that clears the path for better oxygenation, more energy, and a calmer nervous system. Imagine waking up tomorrow, taking that first deep breath and feeling nothing but the cool, clean flow of air all the way down to the base of your lungs. That clarity is within your reach. Start with 1 cup. Listen to your body and reclaim the simple, profound joy of a clear airway. You deserve to breathe easy, to speak clearly, and to live without the constant shadow of congestion. Here is to your health, your breath, and your vitality.